June 1st of every year, North America starts the official hurricane season. We need to understand what may go on and how to be prepared for this recurring event that we deal with every year. Let's talk about PODs and hurricane preparedness. I'll be right back. If you wait until a hurricane warning and an evacuation has been declared, you're behind the curve. It's best to react before the storm makes landfall. These come every year round about June and are usually most active in September, October. Plan accordingly. The best course of action is typically to have an emergency response plan for your family. The best way to deal with it is to create an emergency response plan. Most companies should already have one, as for most companies it's an OSHA requirement. However, you should have a personal family plan. There are a lot of websites that can give you resources, but it's important to have those discussions with your friends, family, and the people you love. Sit down and see if you can budget enough money to have the preparedness items you will need if you choose to stay at home. Typically, the recommended process is to remain at home and to hunker down and wait out the storm. This will free the roads and let the first responders do what they need to do. However, that's not always possible, but that should be your first plan of action. Websites such as ready.gov and FEMA will provide the basic disaster supplies kit list. This is a great starting point if you have never prepared before, or if you're trying to make sure you didn't miss anything in your previous preps. They will break down the different type of supply kits for you, your family, your business, and even your children and pets. So make sure you take the time to go through these listings and see if there's anything you need to add or you need to consider. The most basic kits should include amenities such as bottled water, a small radio, a first aid kit, lights, hand tools, candles, as well as canned food, bread, and other sustainable foods. If you are new to preparedness or new to hurricane country, start small, use a basic list as I showed before, and proceed to start building your kit. Make sure you put your preparedness supplies in a place where they will stay dry and safe from both wind and water. Make sure you check your batteries and your flashlights and any other equipment on a regular basis. Ideally, you will want to stay where you need to be, which would be at home, off the roads. But there may be instances where despite your best efforts, you will have to hit the road. You will have to evacuate. Let's talk about that. In the case of severe flooding, such as what you're seeing here, storm surges, fires, tornadoes, or other epic events, your home may be destroyed or compromised. Or if you are at home and you may be safe and dry, you may not be able to travel to and from. You may have difficulties adding to your supplies. Things like grass fires and floods are very difficult to traverse if possible at all. So you want to make sure you're self-sustained, but understand that you may have to go to a local POD or other facility to obtain extra resources if you didn't have everything you needed. I would recommend checking out the FEMA ICS or Integrated Command Systems course loads. The EMI and ECS program will give you detailed classes that are free to the public to understand how these things work and, more importantly, what will be going on around you in the event of a disaster. Being informed and understanding the process is very important to making sure you and your loved ones are safe. In particular, IS-26 is a discussion on the points of distribution. Any emergency will ultimately result in people needing supplies, either because they did not prepare or their preps were destroyed or inaccessible. There will typically be a lot of traffic and there will be a police presence. The POD's location, as well as Red Cross shelter locations, will be announced. Let's talk a little bit about the PODs, or points of distribution. This is a typical layout of a POD. Normally there'll be multiple sections, including where the supply trucks unload. There will be restrooms, and then there will be a section where they will start segregating the different types of products. Vehicles will enter at the bottom, as you can see in number 1, and will proceed through numbers 2 to 4 as they go through and collect their product. They will give a designated amount to each vehicle, so it's important to have an accurate head count of who will be with you, and it would probably be a good idea to have an ID or other validation of the fact that you live in the area, although they typically will not turn anyone down in a bad emergency. Understand that there are designated amounts for each vehicle and each family. Do not try to get more than you need, because that will get you turned away from the line. Being disruptive will likely get law enforcement or even the National Guard to remove you from the facility. An orderly movement through the process will help everyone. Typical handouts will include water, ice, MREs, tarps, or other prepared foods that have a decent shelf life. You are eligible to pick up one product per day or per designated period. Normally, if not every 24 hours, they will allow you to come back every 48. You will pull up, and after being checked, the folks will come and give you your designated product through your window, or put it in your trunk if you cannot load your own. At which point you will follow the line and follow the traffic out of the facility. As you drive away with your product, expect there will be evacuees on foot as well as a lot of traffic. Make sure you follow the road instructions of the National Guard or law enforcement that are trying to direct everyone. Trying to cut line or being disruptive is not helpful in this situation, and I have seen guard units straight up leave the location because it was unruly. Understand that anybody who's misbehaving or disrupting the line will likely get removed very quickly, and there are severe penalties for committing felonies or disruption during a declared emergency. Don't get impatient, wait your turn, and try to get through the line as quickly as possible. What you don't want to do is be on the road in weather like we're looking at right now. You want to either be hunkered down with all your supplies, waiting for the weather to pass so that you can go to a POD or other destination if you need to, or you've already gone to a safe location. Now, in April, May, and early June is a great time to go through all your inventory, your long-term food, short-term food, inventory, remove anything that's spoiled or wasted, and refill with product that is new and ready to be used. Don't forget the manual can opener, and don't forget water as well as a way to cook anything such as rice or pasta once things have happened. If you can find a safe getaway like this family is, away from the danger zone, that's probably the best course of action. But if you can't, understand what's going on. Godspeed and be safe.